Hey, Vic, are you? Gun down.
Jesus, what's going?
You came from the road opposite the building we're sitting in now. My men and I had been planning a raid on this location for about a week now. Just as we started to enter the building and kill the now late occupants, you showed up. From that monument over there, with your SCD, you killed not only the mercenaries that were stationed here, but my own men. All of them.
So, why am I not dead?
You're meant to be. I shot you when you walked in, but as far as I can tell, we're the last two alive now. I don't know what kind of armor you have, but it must be damn good. I figure it must simply be a sign of God if you're alive. With an American accent like that, you must have quite the story. So tell me, friend, how did you get here?
Oh, I'm a long way from home.
Came to the zone for riches, my friend.
Yeah, I'm coming to the conclusion that it was a mistake.
Perhaps. The zone is known to take many lives. And not spare very many. Not many stalkers, not to mention Americans, make it this far.
Lucky or not, can't really tell.
So then, where does your story start? Are you working with anyone?
The last 72 hours have been a hell ride and a half. I sounded a call to any nearby stalkers requesting transport north in exchange for payment. After a few hours, a man, Mishka was his name, entered the camp my partner Petka and I had set up. He was absolutely covered in firearms. When he agreed to help transport us north, I offhand asked him where he'd gotten all that gear from. "Oh, I saw it all happen from the windows," he said. Proceeded to recite to me the story of how his entire village had been wiped out hours prior thanks to a drunk. From what he told me, it sounded like an argument escalated into what the town residents assumed was a bandit raid. It may have only been minutes, but the entire town consumed itself with gunfire, and at the end, only he stood.
Or he might have killed them all in cold blood and was trying to save face.
Hard to say. Either way, it didn't bother me. If he was going to shoot me, he would have done it already, and was clearly armed to the teeth. Hard to say no to a bodyguard who was carrying the equipment of an entire village of stalkers.
So, where did this Mishka take you?
We started down the road north towards Angrapom. Initially, we heard gunfire near the military base in the south.
That was me. One of my brothers informed me that one Lieutenant Sidorov was posted at the military base in Angrapom. I got a positive ID on him while scouting from outside the base, but he moved too fast for me to get a solid shot on target. What you ended up hearing from the roadside was a very prolonged engagement where I made my way through the entire military outpost until Sidorov himself took a stab at me. I may not have a steady hand, but he bled out fast enough. I confirmed that it was in fact Sidorov, and then ensured his combat ineffectiveness.
Killed him, you mean?
Summarial execution, yes. In all honesty, I'm surprised you didn't show up. Don't you scavs tend to run towards gunfire?
And run towards a military-occupied base. I wouldn't count on my chances, though Mishka definitely thought about it. He guided us by the ecologist research base in the north of Angrapom, and those bastards shot at us for walking past. Though I doubt you were able to make out the sound of our scuffle from your raid. When we were initially ambushed, Petka went down instantly. Mishka and I were farther up the road, ended up just making it out. When I told him that Petka had went down, though, there was unsettling fire in his eyes. It was a fire I couldn't put out fast enough this time. He told me to stay put and ran towards the lab. Slaughtered those that were guarding the outside, and once he breached the walls, he was...
What, lost to the zone?
Unfortunately, yes. It was not a wise decision to follow after him, but I figured that the ecologist eggheads inside couldn't be that well armed. And they were probably low on men anyway, what with the ever-increasing government budget cuts. I could not have been more wrong. I had to take shelter in a run-down basement entrance just outside, and my pistol couldn't fire more than a round without jamming. I can only assume the bastard I looted it from had tried to clean it with a tire iron.
I've seen plenty worse.
After about a 10-minute skirmish, I headed inside and found my late friend. As you can probably tell from all the weapons I have on me, I took most of what Mishka had on him and left as fast as I could.
Working alone then. Considering you're here now, you kept north for what? Riches?
You know what?
Yes, you stalkers all want the same thing. I'm honestly surprised we didn't run into each other sooner. They say, when I was working through the Yantar train station on my way here, I heard some distant gunfire behind me. Probably the ecologist base. Was that you?
You know it. The armor I had stolen from them made them think I was one of theirs. I didn't realize until I saw the ecologist patch on the cook I was making awkward small talk with. I took position on top of their helipad and then ambushed them from the inside.
Wait, you actively picked a fight when you could have just walked out?
Couldn't tell you why I did it. Greed, revenge. Maybe it was just my red-blooded American hatred for scientists. Whatever reason, it was dumb, but I lived.
And let me guess, after this, when your unwanted, greed-fueled, kleptomaniac ass marched here into the dead city and killed what was left of my squad?
Yeah.
Fine, you might as well go. You'll either find the sense to leave Ukraine or my brothers will kill you before you have the chance. Very disappointing to hear that you're working on your own, although impressive.
That's oddly forgiving of you.
By my hand or not, I doubt you'll make it very long.
Thanks for the vote of confidence. I'm gonna have a smoke before I head out.
Better your lungs than mine. Goodbye, stalker.
Adios.